Hi everybody. Today's session we are going to talk about navigation, no-code navigation. If you'd like to code your own business object, you could do that. We have other videos related to this topic. Today's session is reserved to no-code navigation. So as usual, let's start with something we can work with. I will create something inside to show you things. ME2N, I'll double click it. For the sake of this demonstration, I need to extract the vendor code from the vendor supplying plant field. I will do that quickly by copying the original field, replacing the data element with the vendor data element, and using the formula, the string, the left formula. I will take the 10 leftmost, give me a second, the 10 leftmost fields of the vendor supplying plant field. So this is the field and 10 characters. That's it. So we have the vendor. Let me bring the description of the vendor. We can hide this one, and there you go. So navigation, out of the box, Insight support all major business objects. Okay, double click on the vendor and the system will navigate you to the vendor master data. Double click on a PO, ME23M, the PO, and by the same token, MMO3, the material master data. Okay, this is done by adding the business object to navigation, something that's done automatically by the system. Okay, you may change it from display to change mode, and it means that if somebody will click material now, the screen will be open with MMO2, namely material change material. Make no mistake, Insight doesn't give the user more authorization to do things they are not entitled of. Okay, it's only the ability to do that and do that quickly. In case you cannot find your business object in the report, then you can go to customization. Go to customization. In navigation over here, this is the list of objects we added. You can add your own objects to the system, and after you do that, navigation will be available to use. So now, instead of navigating to the vendor master data, I'd like to navigate to another report. Let me show you the report I'd like to use. The report is going to be FBL1N, okay, which is a vendor item lines. It looks something like that. And I'd like to send to this report the vendor number, vendor code, along with the open date, okay, the key date. Usually I'm going to use today as the date for the open items. Okay, let me go back. I can overrule the navigation on the vendor, but it makes no sense because this navigation is pretty important. I need another navigation, and I'll do that by adding another column for navigation only. So I'm creating a new column. Okay, I will use text 50. I will call it FBL1N. And over here, I'm going to use icon. Okay, I will use one of the available icon in the system. FBL1N, navigation to FBL1N, and that's it. Okay, this is how it looks like, right? Let me move it near to the vendor. And now I would like that when I double click this one, it will navigate to FBL1N with the information of the vendor and the day of today. Okay, so let me show you something really important in the sense of in the concept of navigating to a report. It makes no sense to send to this report all the available fields that needed to be set, including the dynamic selection, which could be like tens of items. Instead, what we are going to do is we are going to use a template selection variant, okay, with the things we'd like to set, and we are going to overrule only the vendor number and the open date. By the way, by pressing F1 on a field and the technical information, we can see what is the name of this field in that report, KD underscore listener. And if I press F1 on the open date, open key date, F1, I'll find that this field is called PASTIDA. Okay, so let us go back to our report in columns, navigation. Okay, this time instead of business subject, we are going to use report transaction. Okay, the system asks us prompt for the transaction FBL1N. Okay, as soon as I press enter, the system suggests a variant, and as I explained, this is going to serve as a template with all the parameters you'd like to set. Okay, and we are going to overrule only two things: the vendor and the date. I'm pressing F4. I will pick the variant I saved ahead of time, navigation template. Okay, and now I'm going to add the fields I'm looking for. So it was KD listener and KD, I think, STDI, open items. Okay. Now I'm going to map them. The system automatically found that the field I created is of type vendor, but there's ambiguity about the date. I'm not going to use any of the field from the report. Instead, I'm going to use a system variable, SY datum, which is the current day. And that's it. And now, when I double click, this is 3701. When I double click it, it opens with this vendor. And if I'll use another vendor, sorry, that wasn't the icon. This is FBL1N with this vendor. By the way, we could add a company code if we'd like to by the same way we did it before. Next, I'd like to show you how you can navigate to transaction, parameter transaction. Let me show you how transaction parameter looks like. MD04, this is an example for parameter transaction, the MRP stock information. So this is not a selection screen. This is a screen, but on many of the fields of the screen, if I press F1, information, you'll be able to see something called parameter ID. Parameter ID is something that SAP save at a user level, and it means this is the material that was last used. Okay, so if we can set this parameter with value, and we are going to call MD04, the system will be able to move us to the next screen with the data we just inserted. So mat is the material, and the plant is using the parameter ID WRK. So in the navigation, in navigation, sorry, where is our report? I think I just closed our report. Let me open it here again. Okay, so this was FBL1N, and we have the material. Okay, let's create another column, new, again, text 50, we'll call it MD04, okay? And now I can use again the icons, but instead I'm going to use something else. I'm going to use symbols. Why symbols and not icons? Icons are amazing if we are staying in the SAP world. As soon as we go out to Excel or Fiori, the external world doesn't know of SAP icons. So instead, you can use symbols. In version 5.4, launched earlier this week, we added symbols as part of the screen, but you can use them just by typing them in. In this website, just like in many others, you can pick up anything you like as symbols. So I will use this smiley, okay, and that's it. Let me move it closer to material. I'm missing the plant in this report. I can either use the show field, or you can use this button, scroll, to find and bring missing column, plant. No, this one, this is the plant, and it was brought here. Let me move it in front of the material, and now I'd like to make that whenever somebody double click this symbol, they will be moved to MD04 along with the two values from the plant and material. Let's go back to the navigation part. This time we're going to use parameter transaction. Okay, the system asked for the transaction MD04. Now we are going to specify the parameter IDs we like to set. So the first one was mat, if you remember. And the second one was WRK, plant. Let me map them onto fields from our report. The first one is going to be material, and the second one is going to be plant. Okay, so now this is the plant and this is the material. Double clicking it, this is the material, this is the plant. If we go to other material, we can see it has changed. It doesn't look so good because I wish that in case you have no material, no symbol will be displayed. So to do so, I will use a simple if statement. Let me remove this one. So if material is equal nothing, do not use symbol. Else use a symbol. Let's pick something nice. Okay. And now it looks far better. Okay. So before wrapping up this session, I'd like to talk a bit about navigation and why we think it's super important for you. We believe that the real estate, the screen, is really important. Okay, you should bring to this screen everything that's going to be useful for the user. However, in many cases, things could not be dense and put together in one screen, sometimes because there is no place, and sometimes because the cardinality is one too many. Just like in the example of FBL1N. One vendor has many documents. Okay, so the statement is, in Insight, you bring everything to one place or a click away. And when you say click away, you mean navigation. And therefore, a navigation brings closer almost all SAP into one place. And using this notion, this concept, you can now think of the office of the, for example, the office of the buyer, from which the buyer can do everything, can see everything, and can handle all the operation buyers need to fulfill. And by the same token, the office of the CFO and others. Have you found you find this session useful? Have a great day. Thank you very much. Bye bye.